to the new thing isn't global warming or isn't Ukraine or isn't COVID. Now it's the Muslims. And I don't like a lot of the stuff Israel's doing. I think they stood down. I think it was a false flag. I mean, I think real Islamicists attacked, but it was clearly money Biden sent. But what's the larger picture here with Harvard and the big universities endorsing this? We got a lot to talk about in the 45 minutes or so we've got him, and I'm going to cover some more news after he leaves us in this hour before the next guest joins us. But clearly we said another big war is coming. That's going to be the distraction from the COVID deaths, all the rest of it. And now they're trying to trigger a holy war. Obviously, you get boosted big on Twitter and everywhere else, Hotep, where you're already reaching millions a day if you got on the bandwagon. But clearly the establishment is trying to create some type of clash of civilizations here. Hotep Jesus, thank you for joining us, hotepjesus.com. And the people can also find you at Hotep Jesus on Twitter and menofhonor.com. So, Hotep, thank you so much for coming on with us.
Oh, absolute pleasure, Alex. So, yeah, so your take on Israel's pretty much similar to my take. Obviously, the timing is convenient. We have election season now here, a.k.a. grifting season. Nikki Haley has proven to be a supreme grifter herself after her comments on Fox last night. But what's the bigger story here? Well, first of all, the next distraction is to create something domestically, right? Create some sort of event domestically. Now, it's been happening in spurts here and there. You have protesters clashing. You have Grand Central Station being attacked by pro-Palestine protesters. You have Jewish people being attacked. A lot of different skirmishes have taken place on domestic soil. Much of this planned, much of this known by the elite rulers. And that was one of my fears early on, where there's conflict in the Middle East, and because of all the vitriol on social media spilled into our streets. Now, much of this stuff, as we know, Hamas in Palestine has been supported by George Soros. Black Lives Matter supported by George Soros. We've tracked down some of these protests between the pro-Palestine socialists, but I think Stop the War Coalition is one of them. And Jeremy Corbyn is partly behind some of these protests. So what we have is a communist socialist takeover of another people's struggle. But what's the bigger story that's happening here? Well, while everybody's distracted by the Middle East, what we are experiencing is a complete and total financial transformation where money is going to change how it operates, both at a wholesale level and a retail level. Right now, the House Financial Services Committee is discussing Basel III Endgame. And basically what they're talking about now is, what are the capital requirements for a banking institution? Now, we know what the capital requirements have been since COVID. They said that they are basically zero. You need zero reserves. But now Basel III is challenging some of that and saying that banks need to hold more money, more cash, more capital, which is going to hurt, obviously, the small guys. So what we're looking at right now is actually a huge transformation of the banking industry. If you look, you'll see many banks right now shutting down. You have Wells Fargo.
By the way, let me just interrupt you and say bingo, 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 ding, 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 ding. We're coming to the end of the big bubble, the new rollout of the central bank currencies. They admit it, and they need crises as the diversion to bring this in.
That's correct. And not only so the crises is going to be the diversion so they don't see all the laws being passed. But then later on, the crisis is going to be the reason why we need the new banking transformation, right? So we have Basel III. Let's put that aside for a second. They're meeting about that today. FCC is meeting about total control of the internet. That's happening today. Now, let's focus on the banks really fast. So we have Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase. All of these places are shutting down your local branch banking institution, right? And they're saying it's because everybody's moving online. So payments are moving digital. You were talking about before the break how we have POS happening now without a human being. I was thinking this morning that we might start to have transactions happening without even your card. So the way the CBDC system is working, central bank digital currency is working, is through QR codes, and the offline payments are actually going to operate through your cell phone. So I'm guessing within the next 5 years, not only cash is going to start to dwindle, but credit cards potentially start to dwindle, which brings us into the key component of all of this, which is the digital ID system. The European Union, you can have you guys look this up, European Union have decided to go ahead, despite privacy concerns.
That's right. They passed it last Friday.
Correct. Decided to go ahead with their digital ID system. And they're also in discussion for the CBD. So what I'm looking at here is that there's some sort of link between the digital ID and the CBDC. And it looked like, until this morning, it looked like the digital ID system was a prerequisite for the CBDC. But as of this morning, when I read the IMF paper, it's looking like they might not even be needing the ID as much, particularly for the poor people, because they're going to start tracking
No, that's
you.
it. They're going to roll it out as a freebie deal to get people just signed up at first.
Yeah, I can try to get that handled for you. Again, it's only my second day, so if you can give me a second. How am I supposed to do this? How the hell are we supposed to do this by 5 o'clock?
I have no clue.
Is that possible? Hey, do you have the password to... How'd you finish all your work already?
He's not tapped in. How'd you get that done so quick?
They think they're gonna be able to budget that?
It's money. That's money right there, you understand? You guys finished your work 6 hours early?
He's not tapped in.
Looks like the right is participating in cancel culture. Is that what's happening here? Is there more to it? The Grift Report starts now.
2, 1, boom. Hotep Jesus.
Of all the Jesuses I know, he's the Hotepiest. Social scientist and YouTube host, Hotep Jesus.
How the fuck do you get a name like Hotep Jesus?
The one and only Hotep Jesus.
Ryan Sharp, better known to the world as Hotep Jesus.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Somebody said, what do you think you are, some kind of Hotep Jesus?
Ooh,
and
that's
I was
good.
Just like, ooh, that's sexy. Yes, I do think I'm Hotep Jesus.
What's up, people? Welcome to the Grift Report live Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. I'm your host, the Grift God.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Oh, this a real Hotep brother.
Hey, Hotep to the chat. Hotep to the Hotepistanis.
Hotep.
What's up, y'all? Hylic Edomite, what up, bro? It's just me, Protocol, EMP, from my high horse. What up, man? Retro Neon in the house. What up, Retro? Who else we got in here? Jack Reeves, DMW, Jamar Youngblood. Jamar, I got to come see you. I might come see you this Sunday. What's up with this Sunday, man? I'm free this Sunday. You trying to link up? Slide down there real quick. Pause. Miss Williams, what up? Got a lot to discuss today. Got a lot to talk about today. Let's see what we got. I just got a weird ass message on Twitter. I came up with a new rule. I'm gonna show you. Actually, I can't even show you. So I can kind of show you. So hold on. Will it show up? Because I already blocked them. All right. So I tweeted this out earlier. I said Congress is the greatest threat to our freedom, and second place isn't even close. A lot of this is fueled by Elizabeth Warren, and her bill, et cetera, et cetera. But somebody was like, nope, you have to include the president in that. So I blocked him. I didn't block him because he was wrong. It's just that I hate people that argue for the sake to argue. Like they just people just go on Twitter and just like you could be like, yo, the sky is blue. Somebody, well, actually the sky's not blue because, you know what I mean? You could be like, yo, water tastes good. Well, actually, water doesn't have a taste. You always gonna get some, well, actually, and I've decided I'm just gonna start blocking those people. I don't want those people anywhere near me. I don't want them anywhere near me. You have a angry existence. You need to get over yourself, and I need you to go somewhere. Just anywhere away from me. And you need therapy. That's what you need.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Still can't chat on the Rumble mobile app. Did you try updating it? I know they fixed some things yesterday. They had a cyber attack or something like that. Rumble's acting janky. We're going to try and get it fixed. I hit up Chris. I say, yo, Chris, what's up with sponsoring the Grifties? This is my second attempt to get him to sponsor the Grifties. And Chris Pavlovsky, I tried to get him in there. And yeah, it just didn't work out. No response. Got a bunch of DMs here. He hearted my first one, April 20th, 2023. Yo, let's chat about a partnership between Rumble and Hotep Nation. On paper, we're a nonprofit. Online, it's a wave. He hearted it. And then I haven't heard back from him. September 3rd, I pinged him. I pinged him this Saturday. Hey, can you guys go bother Chris Pavlovsky? Tell him, yo, sponsor the Grifties so it can be like really great or greater. I should say greater because it's going to be great regardless. If Rumble doesn't participate, it's still going to be great. So yeah, you're going to be able to buy tickets, come out to see that show. That's going to be dope. We're going to do that here in Jersey. Debate brain? Yeah, I hate debate brain. Like if you got debate brain, like I just can't deal with you. I'm not going to deal with you. I'm just going to ignore you and block you. It's just that simple. All right. Let's hold on. How many announcements? Oh, yeah. So HotepJesus.com. When I get moments of inspiration, I send those moments of inspiration out to my email subscribers. So go to HotepJesus.com, subscribe to my email list, or you can go to HotepJesus.com/sub, get on my email list, and I send you something to make you feel better. Okay? That's how we're doing things over on my newsletter. Just notes of feel goodness. I think it's very important because with social media, you know, I had a Twitter detox this weekend. I was avoiding Twitter and didn't want a whole lot of thoughts swirling around my head. I needed to sort of clear it out. And in doing so, in those moments of clarity, I realized how important it is for somebody to install some positive thoughts. So we made our first hire yesterday. Our first hire, who is in charge of the online street team for Men of Order, menoforder.com. He started yesterday, Monday, the 11th. Hotep, you're a genius.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
For those who know what I just said right there, shout out to you, the arcane. So, I think he's doing a phenomenal job right now, running the Twitter. Oh, I love this. He's even found this video of me. This is really great. So he's doing a phenomenal job running our Twitter now. And I basically told him, you know, we want to focus on how to make better men, right? And I think in the past, our approach to growing this channel, keep in mind this Twitter channel, this X channel has 13,000 followers. And we basically used engagement farming to grow it. And now that we've eclipsed 10,000 followers on there, I think it's time to change directions. So with the new hire, we've changed directions to be an oasis for men. Currently, there's a lot of people inundated with news, bad news, conflicts around the world, et cetera, et cetera. So we want to be an oasis where men can say, at least I have menoforder.com that talks about something other than that. It talks about specifically how to create peak male performance and inspiration for peak male performance. So make sure y'all give us a follow at Men of Order Media on Twitter. Go to menoforder.com. I might change that app. I might change this app name and separate this out. I might make one Men of Order Media and the other one. Anyway. So yeah. The Rumble stream died. Yeah, what's going on with Rumble, bro? Yeah, it died. Well, that's all we have YouTube as the backup. Mo Facts in the house. What up, Mo? Appreciate you. All right. So, yeah, good news. First hire there. The next hire I'm going to be working on is over at Hotep Nation. If you like to work for Hotep Nation, we need a secretary to handle, basically monitor our emails. We have a bunch of emails that come in from donors. We need somebody to respond to them and thank them. And also run the Hotep Nation Twitter account. Two basic job duties. There may be some other secretarial type job duties as well. So if you're looking to get paid and you need a little side income, hit me up. Probably starting at about $1,000 a month to run this. So if you're interested, Hotep Nation Team at gmail.com. That's Hotep Nation Team at gmail.com. All right, with that being said, let's dive right into our material for today. It looks like we have the first black president of Harvard is under fire. Let's see what's going on. I want to watch this entire segment. It's about a 6-minute segment on Newsmax featuring Sebastian Gorka, and I want to just take a listen to this.
Administration. Sebastian Gorka, also the host of the Gorka Reality Check right here on Newsmax, Sundays, 7 and 10 p.m. It's a don't miss. And we're pleased also to be joined today by Professor Emeritus at Harvard Law School, Alan Dershowitz, who's also the author of the new book, War Against the Jews. Gentlemen, great to have you both with us today on Newsline. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having us, Bianca.
Yes. Professor Dershowitz, sir, I'd like to start with you because you are right there in the center of all of this. You are at Harvard, where we just heard that 500 faculty members are trying to voice their support for the president, Claudine Gay. They're urging actually for the members of Harvard to come out and publicly say that they won't bow to political pressure. Some of the folks who signed this letter say it's not an exoneration of her. Do you feel that's the same way, Professor Dershowitz, or is it?
Oh, I think it's a complete exoneration, and I think many of these faculty members are just pandering. They're afraid that she might stay and make reprisals against them. The vast majority of Harvard, by which I mean students, faculty, alumni, very much want to see the board of directors take some action against her. At Harvard today is intolerable. Students are frightened. They're not going to classes. They are very, very worried.
I still don't even know what she said, but we'll get to it.
About their future. And President Gay is part of the problem, not part of the solution. She's instrumental in what's called the DEI program, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, which has been the basic origin of the anti-Semitism on campus.
Wait, what?
She herself, what's called the very, very worried about their future. And President Gay is part of the problem, not part of the solution. She's instrumental in what's called the DEI program, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, which has been the basic origin of the anti-Semitism on campus. She herself.
Wait, what? The DEI is the origin of the anti-Semitism? Okay.
fired a dean at Harvard some years ago when she was the dean of the faculty because he was in a pastoral role and his job was to make the students feel safe. Applying that to her, she has made thousands of students at Harvard feel unsafe. And I am shocked at these Harvard faculty members who, without condemning Hamas, without condemning her explicitly, without admitting that she created a terrible problem for Harvard, are just pandering to her. Don't reflect the real Harvard.
Sebastian, I'll let you pick up on that. And also MIT's.
Yo, we got to talk about the fact that white women got to wear blonde hair on the news. We got to talk about that. At some point, we're going to have to dissect that. What is that about? You know what it reminds me of? Speaking of anti-Semitism, this would be Adolf's dream. This would be Adolf's dream, to have a country. What did he say? He wanted everybody blonde hair, blue eyes, right? The Aryan race. It would be his dream to have a country whose entire media apparatus makes women wear blonde hair. It even works for Beyonce. I'm sorry.
President Kornbluth getting the support of the board. So what's your reaction to all of this?
Well, I've got some bad news for people who think that President Gay is some kind of outlier. I had a fellowship at Harvard back in the late 1990s at the Kennedy School, and I was a young father with a one-year-old child and a pregnant wife. And a few weeks into the semester, I was sent an email on my student account requesting that I attend the Gay and Lesbian Students Association at Harvard.
So really fast, I like studying people, so I'm studying Sebastian at this point. First thing I picked up on was his very grim look while he was waiting his turn to speak. If you listen to how he intros, the first thing he says is, I have some bad news. And basically, this is an anchor to grab your attention and make you stay and listen. Like, oh, what's his bad news? Then the third tactic I notice is he tells a story, right? So it's a grim face, anchor, bad news. Here's my story. And then he's going to segue into it. This is just genius work here.
I wrote back a very polite email, and I told them, I'm a happily married man with children. I will not be attending the LGBTQ LMNOP students meeting next week. The next day, I was called onto the carpet by the dean of the Kennedy School at Harvard and dressed down for my quote-unquote bigotry because I believe that a man should be married to a woman, and I wasn't going to attend their PC LGBTQ love fest. So this has been going on for more than 20 years. But I've got some bad news for people who think it makes a difference if you get rid of this woman. Chris Rufo has a tweet out this morning with 10 million impressions about how this woman plagiarized her PhD thesis. Even if you get rid of her after Penn, and if you get rid of the MIT president, it won't make a difference. These are hotbeds of anti-Semitism and anti-Americanism.
Absolutely. There's a deep-rooted problem that's deeper.
So she was accused of plagiarism. I did take a look at that. It doesn't look like plagiarism. It looked like a lack of citation on specifically 2 points. But I don't know if you guys know this, but when you write your PhD thesis for your dissertation or whatever it's called, those things are usually like 300, 400, 500 pages. I remember my sister wrote one when she got her PhD. It was like a fucking thick-ass book. So, if plagiarism is equal to 2 lines or 2 points out of an entire book, she probably just forgot to go back and just, add the citations there. But you can't call that plagiarism, out of an entire dissertation or thesis. But anyway.
I do think the issue of plagiarism has been selectively applied and exaggerated. I've read the allegations, and I don't think they justify her being fired. But I do think that her long history of lack of support for free speech only The only free speech she has ever supported, as far as I know, was hate speech against Jews. And that's just unacceptable. It's the double standard that I think should require her removal.
So he believes in hate speech, too. He believes there is a such thing as hate speech. Not that it should or shouldn't be, but just pointing that out.
And her own standard, saying that she is in a role that has to protect.
He said, yeah, and plagiarism is not connected to anti-Semitism. Yeah, this is true. Although they did say she, those lines were from Mein Kampf. I haven't been able to confirm that, but.
Students, she has not made students feel safe.
No.
That's the.
And the FBI is investigating, you probably know, Professor Dershowitz, after a student has complained and said they were a victim of a hate crime. There's an open investigation right now against Harvard. So we're going to watch it very closely. I just have about 30 seconds.
So the right now is complaining about hate crimes. This is one hell of a switcheroo. This shift to the right is absolutely amazing to watch. I'm having trouble processing it all, mostly because I'm just overwhelmed. Wow. I mean, this is the exact thing that you would get from the left, right? You could take this entire interview and attach Democrats to it, and everybody be like, oh my God, they're complaining about hate speech. There's no such thing as hate speech. And this is cancel culture. And what does she say here? She used another buzzword here, right here.
It's the double standard that I think should require her removal. And her own standard, saying that she is in a role that has to protect students. She has not made students feel safe.
No.
That's the.
And the FBI is investigating, you probably know, Professor Dershowitz, after a student has complained and said they were a victim of a hate crime. There's an open
hate crime
investigation right now against Harvard. So we're going to watch it very closely. I just have about 30 seconds. I do want to bring up one thing with Sebastian real quickly. There's this impeachment inquiry vote against Biden this week. Dean Phillips, the Minnesota congressman, challenging Biden, says he thinks this makes him unelectable.
All right, let's go to the congressional hearing. I want to see what exactly people are mad about. I tried to pull up, what this lady said, and it's funny because I had this sitting in the Grift bag for a while now, and was like, I'm just gonna dive into this video at some point and join a few stories together. You guys know how I link things together, so I was gonna link this story together, but it just so happened it was trending today, so I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll be linking everything together today. So let's take a look at it. This is Rep. Elise Stefanik. Let's take a look.
Dr. Kornbluth, yes. At MIT, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate MIT's code of conduct or rules regarding bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
If targeted at individuals, not making public statements.
Yes or no? Calling for the genocide of Jews does not constitute bullying and harassment?
I have not heard calling for the genocide for Jews on our campus.
But you've heard chants for intifada.
I've heard chants, which can be anti-Semitic depending on the context, when calling for the elimination of the Jewish people.
So those would not be according to the MIT's code of conduct or rules?
That would be investigated as harassment if pervasive and severe.
Mad Miller says, I think it's more of old guard versus new instead of left versus right. Well, who's old and who's new? Ivy League has lost its reputation. Some people have just haven't caught up yet. Yeah? I damn sure haven't caught up. Zulu says, where are all of these free speech absolutionists at? Yeah. That's why I want to dive into. I want to see exactly, what are these people saying in this congressional hearing so that, I can see, what this free speech issue is about.
Ms. McGill, at Penn, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Penn's rules or code of conduct? Yes or no?
If the speech turns into conduct, it can be harassment, yes.
I am asking specifically calling for the genocide of Jews. Does that constitute bullying or harassment?
So yesterday on a stream, I'll show you here. So during the stream yesterday, our chess stream, you go to kick.com/Hotep Jesus. This is my chess YouTube channel. I'm probably gonna stream tonight, do some chess games. We did lessons last night. Tonight, I'm probably gonna do the Botez Gambit. That's basically where you sacrifice your queen for a lesser piece. So I'm gonna do the Botez Gambit and just see, how well that goes and how many games I win or lose by giving away my queen. Anyway, during this stream last night, one of our compatriots, Diego, he asked me about, he said, how come these people from these universities can't come out and say, hey, we condemn or we don't agree with, the anti-Semitic remarks or whatever, right? Calling for genocide. And, basically what I said to him was, it's the difference between immediate versus deferred. Something, some drawbacks or some repercussions from the Jewish community or the Jewish lobby may take a little bit longer to set in, whereas these students are very violent, okay, or could be violent, or they could be incited to violence. And what could happen is, I'm sorry, let me take this chess, because if I look at the chessboard, my mind will start calculating moves, so I have to remove that. So, what they're afraid of, they're actually afraid of the students. They are actually terrified of the students. I believe they are afraid that if they say the wrong thing, there could be riots on their campus. They're trying to keep peace on the campus. So that's why they're playing not so much a take sides game, more of a, I ain't really got nothing to say type game. Why y'all got me in the middle of this type game? Why is there even a congressional hearing about this? Can I ask you, why is there a congressional hearing about this? Why? Like who called for this? And why? I mean, I know why. I'll explain later, but why?
If it is directed and severe or pervasive, it is harassment.
So the answer is yes.
It is a context-dependent decision, Congresswoman.
It's a context-dependent decision. That's your testimony today. Calling for the genocide of Jews is depending upon the context.
Now, the way she frames it is much different than the way the other lady frames it. They're both technically right? Also, I think students screaming out Intifada, I don't know. Speech-S. I do Speech-S. I don't know if the students know exactly what they're saying when they say that. I don't think they're calling for the genocide of Jews when they say that. At least I would hope not. You may have a few bad apples that are inserted in there that may say, hey, we're calling for genocide Jews. I haven't seen any evidence of students on campuses, and I've watched all the videos that have come across my timeline, and none of them has called for genocide of Jews. They've sung that, to the river or some shit like that. They sang that song, whatever that means. And again, I don't even know if they know what they're singing, right? Because people have asked them, hey, what river is that? And then they couldn't tell you, right? Chat, I don't even know what the fuck the river is. Matter of fact, chat, tell me what river is it they're talking about so we can change that right now, just to show you how much I give a damn. Let's continue.
That is not bullying or harassment. This is the easiest question to answer.
So the right now is complaining about bullying and harassment. This is looking like the left. It's looking like the left. So I guess it's the new guard is what Matt Miller is saying. The new guard is full of bitch assness and complaining, right? Oh, I'm getting bullied.
Answer yes, Ms. McGill. So is your testimony that you will not answer yes?
If it if the
yes
speech
or
becomes
no?
If the speech becomes conduct, it can be harassment. Yes.
Conduct meaning committing the act.
So if the speech becomes conduct, then it can be considered harassment. Correct. Let's say the speech does not become conduct. Let's say it's just somebody, on campus calling for the genocide of Jews. I personally would say, this is my university and you're calling for the genocide of any people, I got to let you go. You're going to have to face an expulsion. I'm not even going to suspend you. You're just expelled. You got to go to another school because we don't want to deal with that. Right. So I'm not exactly sure what this lady's line of thought is, but I'm trying to figure it out.
Act of genocide? The speech is not harassment. This is unacceptable, Ms. McGill.
Now, is it harassment? Again, like she said, the lady from Penn, is it harassment? That would mean a student has to say it to another student. Then we can target that individual, right? Groups of kids, again, groups of kids are made up of individuals. We need to know exactly names and faces of these people that are saying, calling for the genocide of people.
I'm going to give you one more opportunity for the world to see your answer. Does calling for the genocide...
Oh, the Jordan River and the King David River? River Thames? Jordan? He said the Rio Grande. Come on, man.
...of Jews violate Penn's code of conduct when it comes to bullying?
She got to back up off the microphone. She is way too close to that microphone. She's about to swallow that microphone. Relax, Stephanie.
And harassment, yes or no?
It can be harassment.
The answer is yes. And Dr. Gay, at Harvard, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Harvard's rules of bullying and harassment, yes or no?
It can be, depending on the context.
What's the context?
Targeted as an individual, targeted at an individual.
It's targeted at Jewish students, Jewish individuals. Do you understand your testimony is dehumanizing them? Do you understand that dehumanization is part of anti-Semitism? I will ask you one more time. Does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Harvard's rules of bullying and harassment, yes or no?
Anti-Semitic rhetoric.
And is it anti-Semitic rhetoric?
Anti-Semitic rhetoric when it crosses into conduct that amounts to bullying, harassment, intimidation, that is actionable conduct, and we do take action.
So the answer is yes, that calling for the genocide of Jews violates.
I think the issue here is you're dealing with university level intellect versus, whatever Elise has here, Miss Stefanik. And they're just too smart for her. Like, they're going to use, and I always talk about this, like the difference between broad speech and right and exact speech, very specific speech. And they're using specific speech. And when you speak, it's very important to use specific speech and not broad or general speech because it can be misconstrued. They're using specific speech and it's still being misconstrued, which is just, a lack of intellect or an abundance of ignorance. Exuded here by the rep.
It's Harvard Code of Conduct, correct?
Again, it depends on the context.
It does not depend on the context. The answer is yes, and this is why you should resign. These are unacceptable answers across the board.
So she called for the resignation. I think the UPenn lady, she resigned. I'm pretty sure she resigned. Is there another one in here? Hold on. There was that one, and then there was this one. I think this is the same one. Let me see.
For the mass murder of African Americans is not protected free speech at Harvard. Dr. Gay, a Harvard student calling for the mass murder of African Americans is not protected free speech at Harvard, correct?
Our commitment to free speech.
It's a yes or no question. Is that corrected? Is that okay for students?
It's kind of wild when, Harvard's the protector of free speech and Congress is like, nah, fuck that.
To call for the mass murder of African Americans at Harvard, is that protected free speech?
Our commitment to free speech.
It's a yes or no question. Let me ask you this. You are president of Harvard, so I assume you're familiar with the term intifada, correct?
I've heard that term, yes.
And
yeah, like we've heard the term. We don't know what that shit means.
You understand that the use of the term intifada in the context of the Israeli-Arab conflict is indeed a call for violent armed resistance against the state of Israel, including violence against civilians and the genocide of Jews. Are you aware of that?
That type of hateful speech is personally abhorrent to me.
And there have been multiple marches at Harvard with students chanting, quote, there is only one solution, intifada revolution, and, quote, globalize the intifada. Is that correct?
I've heard that thoughtless, reckless, and hateful language on our campus, yes.
So based upon your testimony, you understand that this call for intifada is to commit genocide against the Jewish people in Israel and globally, correct?
I will say again, that type of hateful speech is personally abhorrent to me.
Do you believe that type of hateful speech is contrary to Harvard's code of conduct, or is it allowed at Harvard?
It is at odds with the values of Harvard.
Can you
But
not
our
say here that it is
values
against the
also-
code of conduct at Harvard?
See, this is tough. This is a tough situation. When you're the president of a university, you are in charge of the next generation, right? You're creating young humans, right? Young adults, and they're gonna grow up to be, hopefully able-bodied citizens. And you're between a rock and a hard place at this point, okay? And on one hand, you have protection of freedom of speech, the ability to organize and protest, et cetera, and universities are great at fostering that type of spirit, and that type of spirit is good. Is good. You need a revolutionary spirit in every single individual across the world, because when you should not tolerate tyrants. Okay. So it's good that they're getting that, right? I'd rather my kids be in class, but okay. And they like that because they get to incubate their next set of protesters, right? And organize these kids into, groups or whatever. So you're stuck on that side. Then on the other side, it's like, well, this goes against your values, what they're saying, right? This goes against your values. But nobody really cared when it was Black Lives Matter. Nobody really cared. Black Lives Matter did the same shit. They didn't call for genocide. They called for the genocide of babies, of black babies. Nobody cared when they called for the genocide of black babies via Planned Parenthood and other abortion clinics. Right? When they called for the eradication of black men, nobody cared. There was no congressional committee that said, hey, you guys are calling for the eradication of the nuclear family. You're calling for eradication of black men. You've called black men bullet bags. Nobody said anything then. Let's go back.
We embrace a commitment to free expression, even of views that are objectionable, offensive, hateful. It's when that speech crosses into conduct that violates our policies against bullying, harassment,
Does that speech not cross that barrier? Does that speech not call for the genocide of Jews?
In the context of college, it would have to be directed at a specific group of kids, right? For example, if these kids organized and they went to, the synagogue, okay, we got to let them go. Or if there was some, group of Jewish kids hanging out, in some lobby, and they said, you guys, we're calling for that's a bit different than some kids organizing a protest and screaming intifada, right? Those two things are definitely different. So on one hand, you got a bunch of kids that are organizing and protesting, and you want to foster that type of attitude. On the other hand, it's like when you attack a specific student, that is bullying and harassing. If they don't go after a group of kids, then, whatever. What was the story that happened with, they had the alt-right kids on campus, right? And I told people when the alt-right kids would, had a group on campus, it was white pride or whatever, they should be able to have that. They should be able to have that. It's a slippery slope, though. Let's continue.
Jews and the elimination of Israel.
When
Rumble's back. Rumble's back. Shout out to Rumble. Shout out to people on Rumble. Welcome back.
Testify that you understand that is the definition of intifada. Is
that the definition of intifada? Let me see. I just see. It's an Arabic word, right? Let's put this up on your screen. I guess we're not allowed to use the dictionary. Are we allowed to use the dictionary? Are we like not allowed? We have to go by the words that, you know, how people interpret them in our society, right? Like it's different from how, you know, everybody interprets them as to, you know, what the word actually means. So it says right here in Arabic, intifada is a rebellion, an uprising, or a resistance movement. And what this lady does is she conflates it with genocide. That's, and the thing is, some people may use that term intifada as, you know, as genocide, but it doesn't mean, let me see. The word genocide doesn't even appear in the Wikipedia page for intifada. It doesn't appear. Genocide does not appear. Anti-Semitism doesn't appear except for in the references. But in an article, there's no anti-Semitism in the article. So intifada is by definition is neither anti-Semitic nor calling for the genocide of Jews. So I can't really follow this lady's line of thinking. She's trying to conflate two things that don't go together, but let's continue.
That speech according to the code of conduct or not?
We embrace a commitment to free expression and give a wide berth to free expression, even of views that are objectionable.
You and I both know that's not the case. You are aware that Harvard ranked dead last when it came to free speech. Are you not aware of that report?
Damn. Now, when did this lady become, let me see, Claudine Gay. When did she become the Harvard president? Okay, so she took office in 2023. 2023, just this year. Matter of fact, a few months ago, July 1st, 2023. So it's only been a few months, right? So if Harvard hasn't been a bastion of free speech in the past, it ain't her fault. It's under new administration now, and you got to give her the opportunity to make Harvard great again. So we can't just jump out the window and say, hey, you know, Harvard has a bad record of free speech. Maybe she's trying to improve that. Let's see.
As I observed earlier, I reject that characterization.
It's the data shows it's true. And isn't it true that Harvard previously rescinded multiple offers of admissions for applicants and accepted freshmen for sharing offensive memes, racist statements, sometimes as young as 16 years old? Did Harvard not rescind those offers of admission?
They should. If I had a university and your child was sharing even mildly racist memes online, I want serious students at my university. I want students who are online sharing math algorithms and things that are productive to society, not emotions and shit. I don't want no emotional people at my college. I want logical people who come to learn and make my college great again. No, I cannot go along with that line of thinking.
That long predates my time as president.
But you understand.
Oh, she said it. That long predates my time. I told you.
Harvard made that decision to rescind those offers of admission.
I have no reason to contradict the facts as you present them.
Correct, because it's a fact. You're also aware that
So it's just like a huge gotcha. This is Elise just trying to have a huge gotcha moment so she can have a viral video, so she can make her her paymasters happy.
Winthrop House faculty dean was let go over who he chose to legally represent, correct? That was while you were dean.
That is an incorrect character as you present them.
Correct, because it's a fact. You're also aware that a Winthrop House faculty dean was let go over who he chose to legally represent, correct? That was while you were dean.
That is an incorrect characterization of what transpired.
What's the characterization?
I'm not going to get into details about a personnel matter.
Well, let me ask you this. Will admissions offers be rescinded or any disciplinary action be taken against students or applicants who say, from the river to the sea or Intifada, advocating for the murder of Jews?
Like, she just keeps throwing that in there, and it's just like, I don't think students are, can I say it? Man, a lot of these people that are singing, you know, from the river to the sea are Jewish. They don't talk about the Jews that are anti-Israel, anti-Zionist. There's a lot of anti-Zionist Jews out there. Some of these kids on Harvard campus, shit, only Jews could afford to get in there sometimes. Some of these kids in these protests, so I don't see Jews calling for the eradication of themselves. I don't see that. But I don't think students are calling for the eradication of Jews. I don't believe that. In fact, I remember seeing a clip where somebody conflated that in a clip, and then I listened to the clip. I'm like, I don't think that's what they're saying. And then I checked the comments, and then somebody gave us the translation of what they were really saying. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't think they would say that. That's kind of wild. And if anybody's got the clip of them calling for genocide of Jews on a college campus, send it to me. I'll play it right now. Tag Hotep Jesus right now, and I'll play it, and we'll take a look at it.
As I've said, that type of hateful, reckless, offensive speech is personally abhorrent to me.
And today that no action will be taken. What action will be taken?
When speech crosses into conduct that violates our policies, including policies against bullying, harassment, or intimidation, we take action, and we have robust disciplinary processes that allow us to hold individuals accountable.
What action has been taken against students who are harassing and calling for the genocide of Jews on Harvard's campus?
I can assure you we have robust
What actions have been taken?
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, the kids at Harvard don't got it in them to bully and harass, yo. These are the geeks of the geeks across the nation. You think they're running up and harassing and bullying people? I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I think as a pack, they could do some damage. Mostly because they provide cover for insurgents, as Goldstein would call them. You know, there's people not from the college who embed themselves in these protests, as we saw Black Lives Matter, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't see these geeks as being threatening. Maybe threatening to the faculty, but to other students, I don't really see that too much. I think it's just a grift.
I'm not asking
actions underway.
I'm asking what actions have been taken against those students.
Given students' rights to privacy and our obligations under FERPA, I will not say more about any specific cases other than to reiterate that processes are ongoing.
Do you know what the #1 hate crime in America is?
The #1 hate crime in America. What's the #1 hate crime in America? Let me guess. Anti-Semitism, right?
I know that over the last couple of months, there has been an alarming rise of anti-Semitism, which I understand is the critical topic that we are here to discuss.
That's correct.
Yo, my name is spelled with a Y. If you're going to call me Brian, you got to spell that shit right, nigga. Get my shit right, nigga. Don't spell my shit with a fucking I.
It is anti-Jewish hate crimes. And Harvard ranks the lowest when it comes to protecting Jewish students. This is why I've called for your resignation, and your testimony today, not being able to answer with moral clarity, speaks volumes. I yield back.
Rudy, super chat. He says, HJ, these same institutions have punishments and rules against fat shaming, misgendering, compelling speech. Now they cry the First Amendment. These leftists are now claiming free speech. Well, I don't know much about Claudine. All I know is that she's new. So I can't really put much of the past on her. I don't know much about her past specifically. Let's take a look, actually. Let's just pull up her trusted Wikipedia and see if there's anything information here about her that we can. So Gay's roles in immediate attention, accused of not adequately condemning the attacks. And it's just like not adequately condemning the attacks. It's like as if you don't say something, somebody's going to get hurt by it or some shit like that. Like, oh, calm the fuck down. Like, she's not that important in the grand scheme of things. You know what I'm saying? Uh-oh. She's a tether. She's a tether. Uh-oh. Shout out to my tethers out there. Came to the United States. So shout out. She's by way of Haiti. So she's definitely conservative. If she's from Haiti, she's conservative. Her father worked for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Yeah, this woman's definitely conservative. She went to Phillips Exeter Academy. Yeah, she's definitely like super duper educated. Private boarding school, Stanford University, studied economics, received the Anna Laura Myers Prize for Best Undergraduate Thesis in Economics and graduated in 1992. Earned her PhD in 98 from Harvard, where she won the university's Toppan Prize for the Best Dissertation in Political Science. We're going to take phone calls in a bit. Text Hotep and your name at 202-596-5631, 202-596-5631, and get yourself in line here. I'm looking for, her political leanings. It's not much here. I might have to dive into, wait, what does it say here? Oh, that's the altercation they were talking about in the hearing, which I don't really give a fuck about. I would love to dive into some of her writings. She seems like a very well-educated individual. I'd love to read her writings to see what she thought or thinks about things. Just because somebody's a leftist, I don't immediately dismiss them unless I study their work, right? Or I hear them say something or I see a clip or something and I got some context. Then I'm like, all right, hold on a second. I don't think I fuck with this person, but she hasn't given me anything. So if anybody has anything, well, let me check my mentions to see if anybody has any videos of students being attacked. And I don't see any here. And I don't see anybody tag me in any of this. So it's like this stuff doesn't exist. I see people tagging Chris, telling him Rumble's down. Thank you. All right, let's go back. So we don't have any ads there from anybody. All right, let's go back to the bag. Hold on, I got some more on this topic we got to cover. I'm going to tell you the official conspiracy theory rumors swirling around the internet. And you guys can choose to agree or disagree however you want. So we got this, again, this was sitting in the bag for a while right now. This is December 5th. This was published by Al Jazeera. It says U.S. House passes resolution declaring anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism in a 311-14 vote. So the way the conspiracy theory goes is the events that happened on the 7th of October were allowed to happen. There are also reports that those forces fired on their own people. Many reports have corroborated this. And the way the conspiracy theory goes is this is a false flag event, which unfortunately put the lives of individuals on the line here. In order to bring about legislation like this already exists in Europe, but it's also now coming here to America. DeSantis has put something like this on the books. This has probably long been in the plans. I'd probably say since, 45 or something like that, 1945, it's probably as long been in the plans to declare anti-Zionism as anti-Semitism. I don't know if I agree with that or not. I mean, anti-Zionism fundamentally means, well, let me finish conspiracy theory first. So the way the conspiracy theory goes is
you threaten a bunch of people, or those people are under threat, and in order to protect those people, you have to pass new legislations. The same thing happened with the Patriot Act, which I believe today there's some legislation being voted on or discussed in Congress, which is going to expand into the digital realm, basically saying, all types of different entities in our world will have to disclose information to the government. So another violation of Fourth Amendment, First Amendment rights, et cetera, et cetera. So false flag event, take away rights. False flag event, take away rights. False flag event, take away rights. That's the concise version of the conspiracy theory. You guys can choose to believe whatever you want to believe. But as far as, Zionism fundamentally means that Jews should have a homeland. I believe Jews should have a homeland. I don't have a problem with that. Whether that's in the land of Canaan or elsewhere is another story to be discussed. I do think there was a bit of a bait and switch according to the British mandate. They said that when they set up this land for Jews in Canaan, that, it was not going to be set up as a state. And there was a bit of bait and switch, which is definitely now set up as a state. And that's according to the British mandate, That's neither here nor there, though. But I don't really know. All I know is that there should not be laws like this passed. This is actually dangerous. This is a dangerous law to pass. Dangerous bill to pass. Basically saying we can't criticize groups of people. I think we should be able to criticize all groups of people. Black people do a fine job of criticizing white people. White people do a fine job of criticizing white people. No groups of people should be above criticism. And that includes black people. We should not be above criticism. And I've said it before, racist rhetoric online should be allowed. I wholeheartedly support that. So racist, anti-Semitic, it should be allowed online. So everybody knows who's who. And we can, you can just block those people and move accordingly. When you create legislation like this, it allows people to go in hiding. And it also creates more radicalism. It creates resentment amongst the population. So you take resentment and radicalization, which creates another event, which means more protection and more elimination of freedoms. It's pretty much how the story goes and how the cycle continues. And yeah, so we're just going to call it straight on this channel. Who are the 14 that voted against it? I don't know. Tether is an offensive term for the segment of non-native Black Americans and immigrants. Yeah. Yeah, you catching that heat, Steph? Misspell my name. You better put some respect on my name. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's a Brian in the chat. Oh, all right. My bad. I'm sorry. You see what type of mood I'm in, right? Play that shit. Fucking my name up. Let's go back. All right. What else we got in the bag today? Let's open up the bag. Oh, we got to play this. So speaking of, Goldstein tagged me in this the other day, so I'm going to go ahead and play this. Let's take a listen. This is grifty. This is really grifty right here.
Jerusalem in the building. Hustle guard. First Jewish trapper in a camouflage lit the truck. I just lit a blunt. Hot boxing with the window shut. Straight power plays. Nowadays I don't give a fuck. It's like my middle finger on Viagra. It keeps sticking up. Muzzle talk. Bitch, I'm the hustle guard. Put the safety on the rod. I'm a synagogue. Way too hot to handle. Spit that solar panel. Roll 8 joints. Light them up like a menorah candle.
Roll 8 joints and light them up like a menorah candle. Hey, if I was Jewish, he couldn't represent me. He could not represent me. You are not about to take the menorah and compare it to smoking ganja. You're not about to do that with my religion. You're not about to play around with my shit like that. With the Israel blue color and all of that around your neck and the yarmulke on, he's wilding.
He's wildin'. This is haram. This ain't nothing but Gog and Magog right here. This is Moloch at its finest.
Every Hanukkah, my mama watching Adam Sandler. Trying to own farmland like a cattle rancher. Smoke good weed, drinking hard liquor. I'm the one that bring the...
Wait a second, yo. What the fuck is going on? Smoking weed and drinking hard liquor. Is this what the fuck we doing? Is this what the fuck we doing, yo? Is liquor allowed in the Talmud? What does the Talmud say about liquor? Liquor, Judaism. Let's see what it say about. Okay, so you can have wine. However, consumption and drunkenness is discouraged. So you ain't supposed to be doing this shit. You ain't supposed to be doing this. This is haram. This is terrible.
Bars to the bar mitzvah. Had to educate them like a GD. They saw the...
I brought the bars to the bar mitzvah. I give them that line. That was pretty clever. It's corny, but it was clever.
Had to educate them like a GD. They saw the 6-point star. They thought I was GD. BELIEVE JW.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
You know you made it when your plug speak Hebrew.
Your plug speak Hebrew. So you getting the drugs from a Jewish guy, huh? Is that what you're saying here? What did he just say? Somebody translate for me, please.
Hanukkah, motherfucker. Rosh Hashanah. Passover. We celebrating and hustling every day on that Jewish shit.
Oh my God.
Alhamdulillah.
Yo, what the fuck is going on in 2023, yo? This is terrible. We should have never let we should have never let Eminem become a rapper. We should never let Eminem become a thing because it's just gone downhill. If we eliminated 2 people from hip hop, the world would be much different. Eminem and Diddy. Because Eminem made it so every white boy wanted to rap. Loved his first album. I'm not going to hold you. Loved his first and second album. I think they're classics. Fucking loved. We used to go on, what was it called back in the day? Napster. We used to download all the underground Eminem freestyles from him being on the radio. And it was hilarious. It was great. But we were kids, right? We didn't know no better. But Diddy, right? Like... in order to understand Diddy, you would have to, let me see if I can pull this up without getting a, what track was that? Hold on. Is this it?
Hello, everybody. Recording live from somewhere.
Lord of mercy. Nah. All right, hold on. I'm gonna have to find the track. It's in the Black Star album somewhere.
We feel that we have a responsibility to shine the light.
Right here. Is this it? Yeah, this is it right
All right, y'all. Enough of that. It's time to go to bed, y'all. Time to go to bed. I want to hear that. You know what time it is. You know what time it is. Yes. Okay. Y'all tucked in? Yes. Here we go. Once upon a time, not long ago, when people wore Adidas and lived life slow, when laws were stern and justice stood, and people was behaving like hip-hop was good, there lived a little boy who was misled by a little shaitan, and this is what he said. Me and you, kid, we gonna make some cash, jacking old beats and making the dash.
Now this is the diss. This is his Diddy diss. He disses Diddy. If you listen, you can hear the diss, and you'll understand why removing Diddy from hip hop history changes the entertainment world.
They jacked the beats, money came with ease. But Sonny couldn't stop us like he had a disease. He jacked another Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder. Sex some R&B over the track for deep cover.
So he's talking about how Diddy used to just jack beats. Like he used to jack all the old Michael Jackson classes, Donna Ross classes. I'm coming out. You know what I'm saying? He used to bear share word. He used to jack these beats and then make hits out of them.
The kid got wild, started acting erratic. He said, "You're that presidential, I got to have it." With liquor in his belly, Sonny made up the track. But little did he know that his joints was whack. The shiny A&R said, "Great new hit, G. Whenever you need a loop, you come get me." The kid got amped and he started to figure, I'ma get told like all of these other niggas. So he's in the studio working round the clock for pop radio. Jack the beat to Planet Rock. Was out in the street where he met his sister, who couldn't sing but the mix with a sister. Hooked up the track in an excitation. He decided he'd head for the radio station. But what? He was running and he made a left. Was geezing at top speed and ran into Most Def. I slowed the young man down and I started your money.
So this is the Black Star album. I want y'all to go listen to this. This is a classic album. R.I.P. Talib Kweli. He ain't been the same in a long time. So yeah, if you take those two people away, you know, the world looks different. And again, what the fuck was that we listened to? All right, let's go back. What else is in the bag today? So we're going to go to phone lines in a second. 202, text 202-596-5631 with Hotep in your name, and we will take your calls. Let me just get you caught up in the world of CBDC. Shout out to Syscoin. Syscoin CBDC update of the Dizzy. Let's take a look at this. Hold on. So, Russia is a bit at odds. The central bank says the CBDC won't be ready for until 2025. The finance ministry says 2024 is when they'd like to roll it out. The Central Bank of Egypt is also discussing the issuance of a digital pound. Their currency is called a pound, so not to be confused with UK. Palau and Ripple complete a stablecoin pilot, the islands of Palau. And again, you'll see Ripple's name cited over and over again. Hold on, let me see. Is this the one I made highlights on? No, this is the official report. Hold on. Okay, yeah, this is the one. All right, so here we go. Let's put this up on your screen. So I want you to see how they talk about CBDCs in the media so you can pick up on it next time. So it says here, furthermore, from a global perspective, implementing a digital currency could support international and cross-border payments, resulting in faster money transfers and possible decrease in the difficulty of conducting physical bank operations. Conversely, Nigeria's Naira has had little effect since its introduction. However, other African nations may be better able to realize the full potential advantages of a digital currency. So basically what they do is they'll say hypothetical, and in reality, it's a failure. So they'll completely ignore reality in favor of some hyped up fiction or just, you know, the typical procedure for the communists. You know, they love to live in hypothetical land. But again, when you look at what happened in Nigeria, it says it has little effect. Oh, it had a lot of effect. In fact, it was disastrous. Hold on, let me pull the article. I have it. If you go to hotepjesus.locals.com, you can get access to my CBDC depository. And I think it's, hold on. I think it's in here. Here we go. So this is why I love having that depository, because I get quick access to all of the important articles around the CBDC. So you got access to that. Join my locals, hotepjesus.locals.com. You can join right from Rumble with the join button. I think, yeah. Oh, we broke 5,000 followers on Rumble. Salute. Salute. Talib trying to beef with Charleston White. Oh my God. So again, they talk about, in this article, they minimize what happened in Nigeria. Meanwhile, over on Mises, they say, how was CBDC created chaos and poverty in Nigeria, basically sending them back to the barter system. So all of that stuff is highlighted here. And again, archived in my CBDC depository, accessed on hotepjesus.locals.com. It's like $5 a month or something like that. Yeah, so that's that. Let's go to the phone lines. 202, text Hotep in your name at 202-596-5631, 202-596-5631. And I'll take phone calls in just a moment here.
Yeah, I can try to get that handled for you. Again, it's only my second day, so if you can give me a second. How I'm supposed to do this? How the hell are we supposed to do this by 5 o'clock?
I have no clue.
Is that possible? Hey, do you have the password to... How'd you finish all your work already?
He's not tapped in.
How'd you get that done so quick? They think they're gonna be able to budget that?
It's money. That's money right there. You understand?
You guys finished your work 6 hours early? He's not tapped in.
We live. We got Goldstein on the line. Goldstein, what's good, bro?
Yeah, man.
What's good with it, man? Talk to me. What you think about the show today?
Great show as usual.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm going to get to Judicus in a minute.
Okay.
But first, I want to fucking start with the college shit.
Okay.
So I want everybody to understand what y'all saw right there with the whole proceedings in Congress and the back and forth between Stefanik and the Harvard chick. Mm-hmm. That right there is what's called a great investment. I'll explain why.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the donors, the mega donors of the motherfucking colleges that were on that pseudo trial right there.
Yeah.
Most of them have dual citizenship. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
And so when you invest heavily in someone, you don't just do it sometimes for what they can provide for you in the immediate. You also want to do it to what they can provide for you if you ever need a boogeyman. And so they put the most inept motherfuckers when it comes to that in those positions, because now Stefanik looks like a motherfucking giant compared to these two.
Mm-hmm.
And all you had to do was just Google some shit like you did with Intifada.
Right.
And the whole shit unravels.
Right.
None of them could have said that. All of them are collegiate motherfuckers. We're talking the best of the best. But none of them knew what that term actually meant, and none of them can bring that to bear during that trial. Huh. That's weird how that would all of a sudden just happen like that. They couldn't clarify her one talking point. So
it seems like they got the muzzle on them. But go ahead.
That's what's called a great investment right there. It's not only what they can do for you, it's what they can do for you on the back end as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And also, going back to my great theory about black women taking the fall. They're going to put black women in these positions of power and make them take a fall.
That's right.
We're going to take a fall all across the board.
I know what my response would have been had the bitch been trying to grill me like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Talking about answer my question like you're some motherfucking G or something. This is what my answer would have been, right? Yes, it is wrong to call for the genocide of Jews, okay?
Yeah.
It's also equally wrong to call for the genocide of anybody.
Right.
However, there's a distinct difference between Jews and Zionists. That cannot be stressed enough. Right. Zionism is a political affiliation very similar to Hamas. And it's also similar to Hamas in the use of terror to establish its aims.
Right.
Therefore, if you are going to allow for the cause of eradicating Hamas, even all the way up to the halls of your bitch-ass Congress, Stefanik, then there should be the same allowance for the cause of eradicating Zionism. That would have been my answer. You know? But nah, that's because I'm not a paid asset, though. Now, on to this motherfucking... oh, boy.
Oh, Judicus?
Judicus. On to this motherfucker. Max Crosby looking ass motherfucker. And this guy. You know who I blame for this type of shit?
Who?
Bryson Gray. Nah, I'm not going to put the blame.
I was going to rock with you on that too.
I'm not going to put the blame on him as much as I would love to.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it. I will, however, blame the first successful Jewish rapper, Drake. That's who I blame for that motherfucker right there. We can't keep allowing this shit, man. We can't keep doing this. And seeing as he has broke the fucking barrier between the decent, upstanding Jewish people and thugonomics, right? Seeing as he's broke that barrier, maybe we can broker a deal with these motherfuckers to get them on the case, because they seem to be able to get a lot of shit done. I'm not for cancel culture. I am for canceling that nigga though. So there it is there.
Yeah, this was, you know, when I see a Jewish rapper rap, I want him to rap about money.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
You know what I'm saying? Tell me how to get to the bread. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you trying to take the ignorant elements of my people and then, you know, pacing that over your people when you know your people don't go for that shit.
At all. I put in the chat that motherfucker signed the first 720 deal. He jumped over the 360 straight to the 720 deal. Because you know they're going to look out for theirs.
Yeah.
But not all the way, because, you know, they still trying to...
They'll still throw them under the bus.
Yeah.
There is very little allegiance in that group of people, especially amongst the left. You are dispensable. Man. You are dispensable in favor of the agenda of Zionism. They will eradicate their own people just to push a Zionist agenda.
Big time. You know, listen, I'm not even bullshitting. I thought that was Max Crosby at first. That's how close that motherfucker looked. And then I got to listen, and I was like, oh, this nigga is actually a rapper. This ain't Max Crosby trolling. And fair enough, he's an actual motherfucking rapper.
He's signed?
If that's what you want to call that.
He's signed?
I'm not sure. He got a number of shits on Instagram. Best believe I'll be unraveling them motherfuckers over time and making them into as many memes as I possibly can.
This nigga used to play football.
So he used to play football, huh?
Or, wait. Born in 1997. Wait. He played this year. Checked into rehab for... Y'all, am I looking at the right... Nah, yo. Y'all trolling. Y'all saying he looked like Max Crosby. Okay.
Yeah. He looked dead on Max Crosby. That's who I thought it was at first.
He do look like... I thought it was the same person. Let me make sure, yo.
Max Crosby, or if you shave the beard, that's Tom Hanks' son. One of the two.
This is wild. I ain't messing with y'all, man. Y'all crazy. Is it Max?
Man. Nah, it ain't him.
They can't. Nah, it can't be him.
Nah, Max Crosby is actually doing something with his life.
Yeah. All right. This is hilarious.
But I just don't know where we go from here, man. As a culture, as a person who came up in hip hop culture, I don't know where the fuck we go from here after this.
We are so lost.
Gone. We just got to reinvent the whole shit. Blow up the old order, establish a new order.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah, hip hop's gone, man. We lost hip hop, man.
Wow.
I think the only hip hop left right now is probably J. Cole.
J. Cole, huh?
J. Cole's the last bit of pure hip hop. You know, you have elements of hip hop in everybody else's work, but pure hip hop is probably J. Cole.
As far as mainstream motherfuckers go, yeah.
Yeah, mainstream, yeah.
But there's still a very, very, very significant burgeoning underground within hip hop.
Absolutely.
You know, they just don't get the shine because you know, real motherfuckers don't own record studios.
For real. Exactly.
So, well, yeah, man, that's pretty much all I want to get off my chest today.
All right, man. Appreciate the call, bro.
All right, bro. Hotep and Bill.
Hotep and Bill. It's going to go Strong Dad, then Rudy. Strong Dad, then Rudy. Man, when y'all said this was Max Crosby, I thought y'all was serious. I thought that really was him. I thought he was really, he looked just alike, bro. What are these Twitter spaces doing? Let me check my messages, see if anything good is happening here. Bipartisan communism because fuck your rights. We voted on it. Yeah. I don't agree with that. What's trending in the country right now? Let's see what's trending. Harvard's trending, of course.
Call from
Strong Dad.
Strong Dad, what up, man?
What's up?
What's good with him, man?
How y'all doing?
Chilling, man. What's
you know
good?
What I just finally finished staining over 300 2x4s, 12-foot longer piece. You know what I'm saying? Just made a beautiful masterpiece in this customer's home. Anyway.
Doing some real man's work.
That's right. Real man's work is never done unless it's done by real men.
Mm-hmm.
So, where do we go from here? That's actually, I would rather comment on that first.
Where do we go from where?
What you and Goldstein were talking about regarding the hip-hop world. You know, we don't go nowhere, man. We just keep listening to the old shit, and that's all there is. Nothing is gonna outline your life like the old shit. The new shit's not gonna outline your life. You know what I'm saying? Until we're all walking around with robots, nothing is gonna be. You know, you're not gonna be able to vibe with anything new that's made. That's just, I don't know, man. That's just how it is. That's just how it's supposed to be. I still listen to that album you pulled up. I still listen to that.
I'm gonna be listening to that tomorrow morning. That's going in heavy.
Yeah, I listen to that. Mathematics is one of my jams, though, for real. By Mos Def. That's my shit right there. But yeah, man, I still listen to that whole album, even though Talib Kweli is, one of the worst rappers out there. I'm sorry. You got to be on beat. I'm sorry. I get what you're saying, but I'm not. This is not spoken word, man. This is rap. This is him.
Well, I used to listen to the Black album, the Black Star album, to listen to Mos Def just kick his ass all over the beats. Mos Def is just super talented.
Facts. Now, I did like him in a children's story and Brown Skin Lady. I wasn't too. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that bad, but. Yeah. Everything else, man, I used to, I would listen to Mos Def come on, and I'm like, oh shit, here come the real shit. Yo, so listen, man, these, I feel for the Jewish people, going through the things that they're going through. But at least here in America, man, y'all made your bed, bro. This is your fault.
you filled your ranks with insurgents because you needed to take on everybody, call everybody this kind of racist that. They weaponized these white liberals to hell and high water, to the highest heights. And now now these same people are the ones who turn on them. This is, yeah, I'm not going to say I told you so or this is what you get. I'm just going to say, it is what it is. It is what it is, man. Y'all put the insurgents in your crowd. This is your fault. What's happening here in America is your fault. Over there, I don't involve myself in shit like that. But here in America, all that bitching and complaining that y'all kept doing, all them motherfucking laws that y'all kept trying to get pushed to make your class more protected and make your class more powerful. I understand it. Hey, if I was in that position, I'd have been trying to, rally for the black folk and put us in that power. But listen, you do all of that, you have to expect that the downswing is coming, man. The downswing was bound to come, and this is, one of many, people that they're turning on y'all. You gave them the very language that they use against you, and it's crazy. Like when you watch these videos of these college students, on campus talking, they use the same exact Berkeley style language that they invented to weaponize against everybody else, and now they're just using it against each other. And I couldn't be more pleased because at least it's not happening to black folks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I got this thing up on the screen here. It says, depending on the context, and it has a picture of Hitler, and Hitler's mustache is drawn with the cap of Saturn, the graduation cap, et cetera, et cetera.
Depending on the context.
Yeah. And again, we've gone full circle with horseshoe theory, where everyone on the left was accusing everybody on the right of being a Nazi, and now it's the right's turn to call everyone a Nazi.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Yeah, and the right, they're just, y'all are handling this so poorly. This is the way to fight this is not to take on their same style of argument. It's not to become a victim. The way to take this on is to completely ignore them and keep moving forward with the program. They need you for exposure. The same way the T people need you. All these people who you don't like in this way, they need you for exposure. If you don't expose them, they can't reach anybody. They stay in their little bubble. And the right is just doing a horrible job of attacking this. I think it's weak. And when the Hotep party is available, I feel like people should just come in our way.
Yeah. Shit's corny, but we'll be here when everybody wakes up.
Right. But Goldstein's gonna be at the gate, keeping the insurgents out.
No, we're gonna have somebody at the gate. He'll be checking papers though.
Checking papers.
Yeah.
Cannon up there with the 50 cal, making sure we're good.
Yeah, we're gonna have fine constables to watch the gates.
That's what's up. Mm-hmm. Hey man, listen, I love y'all and Hotep Nation. Everybody who's sticking around, I appreciate the engagement, and may we keep growing, man. May we keep growing.
Yes, sir.
That's right. Hotep and Bill, man.
Hotep and Bill.
Bye.
Let's get Rudy in here. Got Rudy on the line. We got Rudy waiting. Who else we got waiting? We got Rudy waiting. AK waiting. Jonah and Kevin waiting. Go ahead, call in, man. See what y'all got to say while I check on these chess scores. Wait, what happened?
Call from
Rudy. What's up, man?
What's going on? Dude, I'm up in the mountains, man. I don't want to leave, dude.
Oh, man, you in the mountains now?
I'm up in the mountains in Asheville, man. I was looking at some property. It's expensive as shit, man. But damn, it's beautiful up here, man. I don't want to leave, man. I sent Jabari an afternoon cleanse, man. Goldstein seen it. But look, let me get on topic real quick, brother. I love you. I'm going to be in and out like a damn boxer, man. Pause.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you 100%. I'm a free speech absolutist, man. I just think it's fucking hilarious that these institutions who just passed code of conduct where you can't say something about fat people. You can't say nothing. If you misgender somebody, you could face discipline. You know, they pass all these, and then they sit up there in Congress like, well, the First Amendment, we're for free speech. No, you're not. No, you're not. And I'm not saying Stefanik's an intellectual genius, and I think there's a million other topics you could slam the left on. You know what I'm saying? I hate the victimization at the right place, but it's hilarious, dude. It's hilarious that these people who pass all this speech regulation and all these policies where you can't misgender somebody, you can't fat shame somebody, you call somebody.
Where is
hey,
that?
porky.
What university was that?
All of them, dude. All
You can't
of them, dude.
say all of them, Rudy. You gotta be specific, bro.
Bro, Harvard. You can see what she said. Well, we have policies of discrimination and harassment. So if you walk up and there's some 300-pound chick and like, get out of the way, porky, you could basically get kicked off of Harvard for that, brother.
Yeah, if you
know
aim it at another student, which is the context she was saying.
If they went out, if them students in Harvard went out and said, lose weight, lose weight, lose weight, lose weight, lose weight, lose weight, they would like, man, that's come on, brother, come on, man, let's not play that the semantic game that they play. Well, if you directed at somebody, if you had 100,000 or 100 kids standing on a Harvard campus with signs that said, you know,
no more fat people in school,
and had a Ghostbuster symbol on it, and we're like, lose weight, feel great, lose weight. Come on, dude. Come on, man. Every one of them kids would be lined up and put against the wall, bro. They'd be put against the wall at that institution, man. So it's just funny to me. I'm not agreeing with Stefanik. It's just funny how the left cries, the Constitution, free speech, only if it's targeted. When it's something that, you know, they want to say, but if it's something that anybody else intellectually went up there and said, fatty, 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 go away, fatty, they would fucking punish every goddamn person at that. You know, you feel what I'm, you see what I'm coming from with that?
We need a fat shaming protest to put this to test.
Goddamn right, to put it to test, dude. Let's get together a bunch of people, get some signs, put fat bitches on it, put the no fatty on there, and scream, lose weight, feel great, lose weight, feel great. And watch what happens, dude. Watch what happens. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm in agreement with Stefanik. I'm a free speech absolutist, man. It exposes the fucking haters when the haters can say whatever the fuck they want. And that's just me. You know what I'm saying? Alex is back. Life is getting better. But I'm just saying that, you know, when it comes to those people, I don't care that they got grilled. I don't care that she humiliated them because that's what they've been doing. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree with what she was bitching about, but I'm glad that they went up there. Dude, do you understand how viewed that clip is, dude? Man, that is gone. Like, they're pressuring. The one chick from Penn walked. Some left-wing Jew donor dropped $100 million, pulled $100 million from Penn. Was like, you're done. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And it's just fun. It's just fun. It's like Greenblatt over there at the ADL. He'll bitch and moan everything's anti-Semitic and white people this and white supremacy that. The minute it turns on Jews, oh man, you got to shut it all down. No. I'm tired of it. I mean, I'm with you. I'm just tired of these hypocrites, man. So I was glad to see the hypocrites get slapped in the face, even if I don't agree with what they're getting slapped for. You feel me? Mm-hmm. That's what I was trying to say. It's hard to say that in the super chat, man. The super chat was just because I'm in the mountains and I'm happy, brother.
No,
I got the high ground, man. I'm checking out land for Hotep Jesus, and remember, man, when it comes to Dershowitz, remember who that man is, dude. Epstein's lawyer, been to the island, claims I was vindicated. He was Epstein's lawyer in the first trial way back in the early 2000s. That was the guy who got him off. He's got him the government sweetheart deal. He's a left-wing Democrat. That when I made the case for he's one of them Democrats that turn like and try to jump to the Republicans when they realize that the Democratic Party's going too far left for them, so they try to run back to the right. That's all that dude is, man. He's a snake in the grass. I don't take anything he says seriously, man. Just like Piers Morgan, man. Like I told you a long time ago, fuck Piers Morgan. You see how he tried to bash Alex putting up the Media Matters thing? This is what Alex Jones said. This is why he shouldn't be on Twitter, man. Fuck that guy. Stay over there in England, you fucking prick. You're left wing one day, you're right wing the next. You're a piece of shit, man. He's not a centrist. He's an MSM fucking monster prick. And Goldstein, don't ever insult Max Crosby by saying he looks like that little tiny ass dude rapping, man. Max Crosby is a beast. He's the only thing Raiders fans have to root for, and I'm insulted that you compared him to that little dude running around with an Israeli flag trying to be a gangster rapper. Rudy the Vet is out. Hotep and Build, everybody. I love y'all. I'm in the mountains checking out property for the future of Hotepistan, man. We got to get up here in these mountains, man. I love y'all, and I'm out, brother.
I appreciate you, Hotep and Build. Retro Neon, how you watching the stream and streaming Forza at the same time? What's going on, bro? Retro Neon's live on Kick right now, playing Forza and watching the stream right now. How are you doing this? This is talent beyond talent. Let's get AK in, and then after AK, we'll talk to Jonah. After Jonah, we'll talk to Kev. But yeah, this Hitler thing on the screen, this is wild. This is absolutely wild. Yeah, I don't really. Carmen, you tagged me in this thing about her plagiarism, and I'm not really concerned about her plagiarism. That's not really a concern of mine. I talked about that earlier. I want to know what her political leanings are. I want to know what her politics are. AK, what's good, bro?
What up, AJ?
Not much, chilling. How you, bro?
Doing, man. I kind of want to dovetail off of something that Strong Dad and Rudy said, but then also just give you something that you can actually look at to get more specific. So there's when it comes to the congressional hearing or whatever, I agree that if we base our values on principle, no one should be supporting that congressional hearing, right?
Right.
Because if we believe in the Constitution, which I think is a very valuable, like the most valuable document to America, then we can't have the government, which is Congress, telling institutions, even if they have endowments of money that come where they get some federal dollars. If you want to cut that off, I guess you could, cut that off or whatever. But at the end of the day, like, you can't have the government suppressing free speech, even if it's a slam dunk for the right. At the same time, I'm going to say kind of what Rudy said, but I'm going to give you the specifics. There's an organization called the Foundation for Rights and Expression, FIRE. It's an organization that's been around. They're like free speech absolutists, and they go around and they document what free speech climate is like on campuses across America. So it's like, I think it's like fire.org or something like that. And recently they said that Harvard actually has a score of abysmal, meaning that, like, not only does the administration not encourage free speech or diversity of free speech of ideas and beliefs, but the student bodies are encouraged to shout down and stop speakers from speaking on campus if they represent, in that same vein that Rudy's talking about, like, if they're a right winger or they're considered, counter culture or whatever it might be. And they've shut down, again, speakers kind of all across the board. Now, the worst out of, their list that they do, because they make a list every year, is Harvard. Like, they have the lowest ranking. The second worst is UPenn. And then MIT, because remember, their MIT president was on that board, is like in the lower half of the list. So they're not good, but they're not, absolutely terrible. So I will say on that, like, if you're going to try and hold them to the standard that they have set for themselves, I can't get on board with suppressing their speech, but I definitely can reach my hand out and, like, try and help them up off the ground when they're getting what they've asked for, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. No, that makes sense. I can't argue that. I wouldn't argue that.
And so it's like, I kind of look at it like I'm not a guy that
you just know me, right? Like, I always need to see the proof, right? Like, I know rhetoric, and I know for the most part, blah, blah, blah. I want to see the proof. You know what I'm saying? I want to see the links. I want to analyze the articles. I want to analyze their code of conduct. I don't got no links for that stuff yet.
Yeah, so if you go to fire.org, they are pretty comprehensive. So
you said what?
So it's fire.org. So it's the Foundation of Rights and Expression.
Okay.
So if you go and look at that, this is just, so this is only one organization,
it says,
but
SEM Systems for environmental management.
So maybe it's not fire. Let me pull it up right now. I had a screenshot. It is thefire.org.
Okay. Free speech makes free people. Okay, I see it here.
Yep. And so
go where
they've
now?
been so if you look at there should be like a drop down menu, and it will say universities or like college report.
Colleges.
They kind of push it. Yep. So if you go through that, they basically provide like a score and a grade for how well of an environment free speech is. And then they have like all these categories that they break down, and then instances in which they've represented someone that's been shouted down or shut down. And so if you go there, you can actually see like the specific policies at the colleges or instances where they believe it's bad for free speech. So like if you take some time and you go through it, you can kind of see. But like I said, on their report that they do every year, the most recent one that they put out for 2023, they ranked Harvard as the worst for free speech environment. And just mind you, this is a left-wing organization. Like the founder, one of the guys' names is Greg Lukianoff or Lukianoff, something like that. But he is like, he considers himself like an independent, but votes for Democrats mostly. Like he's socially left, but when it comes to free speech, he's like a classical liberal, if that makes sense. But yeah, man, if you take some time and you go through that, you can kind of see that they have a pretty good database of the instances in which these colleges, and you made a good point. This president hasn't been at Harvard specifically, hasn't been there for a long time, but she still is in charge of the administration. So, you know, she can't be a dictator. She can't just come in with an edict, right? You usually have like a regent board, and there's like student and, you know, government and all that different stuff. But what the organization tries to do is like break it down of why they're not an environment for having actually good free speech from policy, but also the way that they encourage students to shut down speech that they don't like, to the point that like the guy that founded this is Greg Lukianoff. He's actually written a handful of books talking about how colleges and universities are places that shut down free speech and that it's bad. And the one book called The Coddling of the American Mind, they just came out with a new book called The Canceling of the American Mind. And obviously, like, these are leftists, so like they believe in, you know, sending your kid to college, which I don't think you should do that unless you have a specific focus. Like if you're going to be like Dr. Tanai and you need to go to get that degree, go get that degree, but don't just go and get some garbage liberal arts degree. But this organization would say that, you know, you should. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I just want to throw it out there. And like, here's my analogy. Like, I'm not a guy that believes in violence. And I don't want to see violence wrought upon other people, but I understand defending yourself. So if I saw that Nick Fuentes was getting his ass kicked by a group of white guys, I'd be like, hey man, those are your people, bro. Like, I'm not going to wish it, but I ain't going to stop it because he's the one that's out there railing, saying that, you know, black people are violent or whatever. So
yeah.
Yeah, man, I just wanted to give you that to chew on, to take a look at. But like I said, man, I know that you're a person of principle just like me. Hotep Nation is based on principles, and it's not just about getting the gotcha. And that's what the right's doing on this, is they're trying to just make hay, but they're not seeing that the bigger picture, especially with this you know, anti-Zionism is anti-Semitic. You're giving the left what they want. You're giving them the tools that they're going to turn around and use it against us. And more than that, right? You said this earlier. By kind of backing where you silo and say, well, here's an extra protected group of people, it's actually going to cause greater animosity between groups, because you're going to have Asian Americans, Black Americans, white Americans, the red whites saying like, well, where's our law that says that you can't be anti-white or anti-black? Oh, only the Jabari people get this law. You know what I'm saying? And that actually causes further animosity, which is the goal of Marxists, man. They want to break down society so they can take back control.
Right.
You know, from an overt perspective. Right now they have institutional control, but the culture is not controlled by Marxism. They want the culture to be controlled by Marxism. And the left, you know, they're just so masterful at the way that they play the right, and the right just feeds right into it. And yeah, man, so it's sad to see, but I'm gonna get off the line here. Hopefully you can find some good nuggets there in that website and some of their breakdowns, just to kind of show the hypocrisy that's coming from both sides of it. But Hotep and Bill, brother.
Hey, appreciate you, man. Hotep and Bill. Kev, you suspended for calling in without waiting your turn. Try again tomorrow. Very annoying when I'm on the phone and you keep calling. Where is Jonah? Jonah, go ahead, call in. So we have Faculty of Arts and Science, Harvard University's free speech guidelines. Says a warning directed. That's the definition of disruption is an easy. Yo, Kev, you about to be blocked, yo. I'm about to block your number, bro. You keep calling. Jonah, what's up, bro?
Nada. So I'm gonna keep it short, but how's it possible that this professor's named Gay or this dean or whatever the fuck their title is? I don't give a fuck. But anyways.
Yeah,
and that's the
it's
same.
Hilarious, right?
That's the same name as the dean of Harvard Business School during the eugenics day.
Mm.
Is that a coincidence, or did maybe maybe sort of legacy, right?
The simulation is simulating.
No, legacy, right? That's all nepotism. It's all bloodline, right? So that's how they all get in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then, I don't feel sorry for this one because more than likely, one of their great uncles was like a eugenicist trying to kill everyone off, right? And then, so whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion. Especially when they're both at Harvard in high-ranking positions. Don't tell me that's unrelated.
Right.
And last point. How the fuck are you going to say that you can't smoke weed with a menorah when it's a fucking celebration of the burning bush? What better holiday would there be?
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Am I wrong? It's the burning bush, right? Or maybe it's the wrong holiday. My name's Jewish. I'm not. So maybe I'm wrong, but. Other than that, I was just pointing out, man, if there's a better holiday to smoke weed at, other than the one that's celebrate the burning bush, you tell me.
I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck you talking about right now, bro.
Hanukkah is the burning bush, right? The 8 days that the.
I don't know nothing about that. I don't get into the old Bible shit.
Anyways, I gotta keep it short today. I hope that build. Like I say, it's kind of funny with the gays.
Yeah.
But I hope that build.
Hope that build. Kev, you got blocked. I had to block your number, bro. You kept calling. Your number's blocked. If I remember to unblock you someday, then you can call back in. But calling and just like ringing in my ear when it's not your turn, it's kind of annoying. So it says here, thus, the definition of disruption is any repeated or continuous action which effectively prevents members of the audience from adequately hearing or seeing the event. Okay, so this is specific to an event, so that's not applicable here. Meetings. So this is free speech guidelines, I believe specifically around an event. And this is dated in 1990, so this is not applicable to what I'm looking for. Okay. Free speech guidelines. These are obligations of civility and respect to others that underlie rational discourse, racial behavior, evidently tending to dishonor. That's not what this is, though. Like fire.org got to do better of collecting that data. That's not what this is. This is specific to events. At least the way I'm reading it, with a very, short time to look at it. Harassment policies. I don't know. So yeah, some people say, there's a double standard. If there was a fat, I just want to see, like, has Harvard ever suspended somebody? Let's see. Harvard suspends student fat shaming. I don't see that. I don't see pronouns. All right, here we go. Students caught using wrong pronouns. All right, what does it say here? May. See, it says may, right? It says may. It doesn't say it does. Campusreform.org. They posted this article here. Flashback. Students caught using wrong pronouns at Harvard may violate harassment policies. Students at Harvard University were told that failing to use a person's preferred pronouns could be a violation of university's sexual misconduct and harassment policies during a mandatory online training last month. Okay. The power and control wheel clarifies that using the wrong pronoun constitutes abuse and is an attempt to limit a person's sense of self based upon identity. This is published December 7th, 2023, or updated, because it says here the following article was originally published October 4th, 2022, has been republished in light of the Tuesday's congressional testimony, okay, from Claudine Gay, in which she stated that it depends on context whether or not calling for genocide of Jews violates university's harassment policy. Okay, so let's see what they say. Students at Harvard University were told that failing to use pronouns during the training deemed preventing and responding to sexual harassment and other sexual misconduct, power and control wheel, blah, 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 sexism, fat phobia, transphobia, racism, white supremacy, and cultural identity abuse. Here's the wheel here, and you see sexual abuse, abuse of authority, restriction of freedom, destruction of property, intimidation, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, financial abuse. Okay, so it's got this wheel here. I don't give a fuck about the wheel. The wheel means nothing really. What we're talking about is person-to-person interactions that we're looking for here. Scenario 3 informs the Ivy League students that repeatedly using the wrong pronouns and making remarks about gender identity contribute to a climate of disrespect and may also violate Harvard's policies. So it doesn't say it does. It says it may. I guess it depends on how you're ignoring someone's pronouns or misgendering them. The course is supported by an array of faculty, including the Harvard College Dean, Rakesh Khurana. In a video introducing the training, Washington Free Beacon alleges that Khurana told students, "We have an essential role." Who's Khurana? Oh, he's a dean. "We have an essential role to play in creating a community that cultivates gender equity and inclusion. Completing this course is a critical step in establishing Okay. The attempt to broaden the definition of sexual abuse to include misuse of pronouns follows an onslaught of leftist ideology propagated by college Title IX officers. Training required. Boston University held a training. Boston University. Yeah, there's nothing here. Nothing here. I can't find a double standard y'all want me to find. I want to find it. I would love to see it. It says Harvard students could be punished for not using preferred pronouns, but we don't have any instances of them actually being punished, right? There's a difference there. And it's a dean. This is, again, prior to the current president, because this was established in 2022. So the Crimson, it's time for queer affirmative action. What the fuck? Queer affirmative action. All right, phone lines are closed. Narrow took too long. Let's go back. Harvard allows students to pick new gender pronouns. What the hell? 2015. Washington Free Bacon would be the shit. One of the Weinstein brothers is famous for his interactions with students at UC Berkeley. I'm pretty sure there's a video of that on YouTube. UC Berkeley? Yeah, but it's got to be one of the three. UC Berkeley they weren't on trial, right? They weren't in Congress. It's got to be Penn, Harvard, or I think the other one was Yale. We know Berkeley's a shit house. Burning bush was Moses outside Mount Sinai, Jonah. Yeah, I definitely did not get that correlation when he said it. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck you talking about. Yeah, he had me burning candles, not bushes, Jonah. Yeah, I didn't. Jonah had me so lost on that one. I was like, I don't know what the fuck you talking about. Need a Hotepistan coin? Yeah, we're gonna have a coin soon. We'll probably drop a coin before Hotepistan. It just gotta be it's gotta be done right. And people have to be able to spend the coin. So once we figure out a way for people to spend the coin, it'll be we'll be in a good situation. Go subscribe to my Kick channel, kick.com. Kick.com/Hotep Jesus. Right there. Go subscribe. Got 40 followers. We just broke 40 followers yesterday. So shout out to all my followers. I'm going to stream the Botez Gambit speed run tonight. Basically, I'm going to sacrifice my queen and see if I can beat the noobs without a queen. See what happens. I'm kind of out of form right now. But we'll see what happens. If it doesn't go so well, then I'll just play him straight up and see how that goes. But I should be able to get a couple of wins out of there, you know, just blundering a queen, right? Allegedly accidentally blundering a queen. I should be able to get some points in there, right? Also, don't forget, cash in on your discount code. Lots of new updates coming from menavoida.com. Like I said, we just made our first hire, so make sure you get your subscription before the price goes up, because once we get the new packaging in, price going up.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
I'm out of here, man. Hotep and Bill.
Yeah, I can try to get that handled for you. Again, it's only my second day, so if you can give me a second. How am I supposed to do this? How the hell are we supposed to do this by 5 o'clock?
I have no clue.
Is that possible? Hey, do you have the password to... How'd you finish all your work already?
He's not tapped in. How'd you get that done so quick?
They think they're gonna be able to budget that?
It's money. That's money right there. You understand?
You guys finished your work 6 hours early? He's not tapped in.